Hey guys, what's going on? Kulprit here. And today I want to talk to you about what's next. Particularly about Battlefield 4, obviously. That's what I've been talking about a lot. That's the focus of my channel going forward, as it's been Battlefield 3, now transitioning over to Battlefield 4, hopefully soon. It's going to feel soon. I have that Christmas Eve type of feeling right now where it's just like, hurry up and get here. I can't wait. But yeah, I mean, we know quite a bit, and kudos and credit to DICE and EA. They've done a very good job about putting out information, and not just fluff either. They put out some good info. I mean, think about it. I mean, look across this counterpart. I'm not starting a fight here, but we know very little about Call of Duty Ghosts. Very little. Some flashy things, the dog, these types of things. By comparison, we know a lot about Battlefield 4, and I think that's good. It's good on them. And not only is it building hype, but it's opening and creating discussions, and that's all good. So we know a lot. Obviously, they live streamed. We've seen actual gameplay. I can't tell you how thankful I am to see that. I mean, just legit gameplay with actual players. Although, some can argue some of these, these little mini trailers that some YouTubers have been putting up, the gameplay has been terrible on those. But that's what happens when you have the suits come down and play your game, or press, or whomever, and then guys playing on, maybe they're used to consoles, but now they're on a PC, or vice versa. Who knows? Maybe they were console control on a PC, or just the sensitivity settings were off. Who knows? So we know a lot. Evolution, squad size, server size, battle log features, all these things that we know about. Commander mode, obviously, that we're all excited about. But what's next? Well, looking forward now, we have Gamescom coming up. I believe it starts in a little over a week. I want to say the 20th. I'm not certain. Very soon, though. I think it's like next Wednesday. Not this coming, but next. And that is typically for DICE, as a lot of people have speculated, is going to be another big info dump, basically. It's going to be just like E3, but this one is in Europe. It's a huge game conference. I guess is that the right term? Conference, demo, I'm not sure. Convention, basically, for Europe and surrounding areas. And they Battlefield 3, they used that to unveil a lot of new things. I believe that's where we first saw Caspian Border, if I'm not misunderstood. And they of course, released a lot of new information that we didn't know. I believe it's co-op mode, maybe even things like that. I expect we are going to get new information there, as I think it's already been stated. I think Zinto actually, who is now a producer with DICE, he's no longer the community manager. I think, as far as I can tell, he's working very closely on spectator mode. I think that's kind of his baby. I could be wrong. I don't have that on any official statement, but he's gone on Twitter saying, a huge, great show at Gamescom coming. So I'm kind of expecting big things. I'm preparing myself. I don't want to get too excited, but it kind of fits their form. So what are we going to see? I mean, I don't know. I hope we're going to see another map that would follow the form of Battlefield 3. What we see will go a long way. We saw Operation Metro in Battlefield 3, and then they balanced that very close, very FPS on rails type of experience, Call of Duty-esque, as a lot of people complained at the time, and they balanced that over by showing us the Battlefield experience, wide open vehicles, planes, jets, of Caspian Border. So now, when I watch, Siege in Shanghai, I'm not sure what I think about it, because it seems very cool. I like all the options, different alleys, corridors, roads, levels, these types of things. But it seems a little barren to me. So I do have concerns on that. But that only matters on what end of the spectrum does Shanghai fall. Is Shanghai one of the larger maps? Or is Shanghai supposed to be close quartery urban type? So if that's the end of the spectrum of close quartery urban warfare, I'm concerned. It doesn't seem like there's a ton of action to be had. You find little pockets of it, but with all the planes and boats and commander modes and things going on, it kind of harkens me back to Firestorm and maybe even Caspian Border. But if that's going to be one of their bigger maps and one of their bigger, more vehicle-oriented maps, then I think that's right in with a good balance. Because obviously there's a lot of vehicles action going on, but there's a lot of places for the infantry, and only the infantry can get the job done. So that's what I mean by when I say it's going to be very telling, the next map we see. Is if the next map we see is even bigger, or something like that, I'm going to have concerns. But if the next map we see, we saw a map on the Battle Log demo, which was like Operation Metro, reduced, it seemed like. Who knows? That could just be a dev map. It could be an exercise. Who knows? But if we see something along the Operation Metro, like into that, then okay. I see where they're going here, and now a little of my concern has gone away. I think we're going to see more on this dynamic weather. We've seen them mention this quite a bit. I have concerns, as I posted on Twitter, that when all these times they keep talking about dynamic weather, changing weather, these types of things, and they always mention how it will affect visibility. Well, as we all saw in Shanghai, the trailer, the tower fell, and one of the things they really hyped up was that now that this tower fell, what used to be a sniper haven and a parachute jump-off point is now rubble on the ground. There's dust everywhere. You might want to use infrared. You might want to use night vision. You can't see so good. It limits your visibility. Now it's infantry, close-quarter combat. Okay, I'm in on that. I buy that. But I really kind of hope that it's not the same effect on every map. So now we go to a tropical island and it rains so heavily that my vision is blurry. You know, you get what I'm saying here? So there's more to weather, guys, than just blurred vision and not being able to see in a dust storm. So I really want to see more of that. And I mean, I think we saw in the early trailers, you know, those little 30-second trailers we saw a lot of elements of weather. Weather's a cool idea. I'm okay with it. I wouldn't mind seeing like a changing sun position. They have said in a recent interview, I believe it was Bach, I could be wrong, that there will not be time changes on maps. That doesn't mean we won't get a night map or a day map. It just kind of means it's not going to, as I interpreted it reading through the log of the interview, we're not going to see time change while you're in the match, which I don't think many people were really calling for. I would think we would see something on this whole weather thing. They seem to be putting this front and center even before E3. And we didn't really get much on that at E3, so I would expect to see some of that. I would also expect to see more information on, you know, how Battlelog is going to work now. How, you know, I would expect them to talk a little bit about how much easier it is to play as a squad. And it's about time they start talking about what the difference between the current gen consoles, the 360 and the PS3, and the next gen consoles, and exactly how that will differentiate each other, because we already know that the current gen consoles are not going to be getting some of these enhanced Battlelog features. And lastly, one of the things I do hope we're going to hear at this Gamescom is probably something we're all hoping to hear is the beta date, or actually, at least a rough idea. Now, I'm cringing. I'm going away with my family in early to mid-October for about a week, taking them down to Disney World with my boys, and then we have like a little bit of a family reunion down there. So I have a feeling it's going to be like first, second week in October, because then I would miss it. And despite maybe having a blast down there with my family, it would drive me crazy. I'm hoping for as a prototypical Battlefield 3, they're going to have it late September and then take like 2 or 3 weeks off as they did in Battlefield 3 and then move into Battlefield 4. That would be perfect for me if I could be just selfish for a minute. But hey, let's hope the earlier the better is where I stand. It would give them some chance to kind of change things. And they have said, which again, they said this in Battlefield 3 as well, it's kind of marketing speak, dev speak, that the Battlefield 4, Frostbite 3 engine now enables them to kind of change on the fly, which I see some truth to that now that it's kind of, as far as next-gen consoles and the PC, it's more of a unified platform. They should be able to change and edit things, at least balance-wise, a little easier and without major patches. So hopefully they might actually be able to make some changes to Battlefield 4 based on the beta, where we know they didn't really do that in Battlefield 3. So what do you guys think we're going to hear about? Gamescom's big. I'm pretty confident we're going to get a big bunch of information thrown at us, which I am ready to look at. Lord knows we're all tired of talking about the same old things already. Some of us are already getting bored with Siege of Shanghai, I hear, which is kind of worrisome. What do you guys hope we hear? I know there's a lot of you guys have a lot of different interests, so please enlighten me on what you want to hear them talk about, what we hope to hear. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Take care. Have a nice day.